So to add in our game camera and our game world, first what we have to do is talk a little bit about matrix transformations. So inside of processing, we are able to transform things where we can use translate, rotate, etc. Translate is what we'll be using with the camera because we'll be adjusting the camera so that it's trying to stay centered on the player until the player is nearing an edge where then it will be able to move between the middle of the screen and the edge of our game world. So first, a little talk about matrix transforms inside of processing. So one thing that we do is we have two commands, push matrix and pop matrix. And what that does is that says, okay, I want to store what is the current state of everything, X, Y, rotate, Z, any of the positional information that we've put in. So we store that information. Then we can do a bunch of changes, and then when we're done, we do pop matrix where we restore the world back to its original state. So it's going to make a little bit more sense as we start building out the game, but understanding how these things work. So right now I have a box where the box is drawn continually at 0, 0. So it's not being drawn anywhere else. And I even am drawing rectangles at 0, 0. So we'll see this rectangle, which is filled with transparent white, is drawn at 0, 0. As is this one, as is this one, as is this one. They're all drawn at 0, 0, but we can see that they're in 4 separate locations on my screen. So how does that work? So I have my original objects that I'm drawing, and I'm just going to comment these out and run it so we can see I draw the box and I draw a rectangle at both 0, 0. So our box is displaying at 0, 0, my main background, and it's filled with color. Now I'm going to do a translate. So I'm going to move what is my origin point for where all of my drawing is happening inside my sketch. I'm going to move that 0, 0. So effectively I'm going to take 0, 0 and I'm going to translate it to 400, 300, which is the middle of my sketch. And now I'm drawing that same rectangle. I changed the color of my box to yellow just so that we can see a difference. And we can see, but again, I said rec 0, 0, rec 0, 0, but now it's drawing it here because I changed. 0 is no longer here. I moved my 0, 0 coordinate to the center of the screen. Now we can even rotate that. So I'm going to rotate. Now rotation takes in radians as the unit of measure. So 360 degrees is equal to 2 pi radians. So if I want to convert and don't have to actually write out the math formula, there's a conversion formula built in processing. I just do radians and put the degrees I'm working with, so 45 degrees. So I'm going to rotate my entire world 45 degrees. Then I will draw that same rectangle. This time I'll fill it with green for the box. So we changed the box's color, so now we can see our entire game world has moved. I mean, I could rotate it, and in addition to being rotated, if I wanted to, we're going to see what happens if I translate that. So I'm going to now, so I translated, rotated, and translated again. This time it will be filled with blue, and we'll see how the entire game world shifted over. I rotated it negative 200x, so here's my 0, 0. I went over 200x, negative, and then down 100. So we can see how it's moving it around. So we're effectively changing our 0 when we use these matrix transformations. This is the magic trick that we're going to need so that we're able to then work with our game world here, which this background now is 4 times the size of my sketch. We'll notice how that kind of approximately lines up. If I look at the sizes of it, we'll see it's 1600 by 1200, knowing that our game world has been, the camera view of it, 800 by 600. So now we're going to work on adjusting that code to make that magic happen inside our project.